So then, with the meditation, to divide it into two parts. First part, meditation focusing the mind on the breath, and then the main part of the meditation. All sentient beings, all beings with mind. And so then with the first part of the meditation, focusing on the breath, if you already have a method that you use, then to employ that method, and as best as possible when engaging in the meditation on the breath, to try to keep the mind in the present moment. Then if you don't have a method, then one method that can be used is to use the awareness of the breath as it passes in through the nostrils and passes out, and try as best as possible to become aware of the sensation of the air coming in and going out. And as the various distractions arise in the form of thoughts, of memories, things in the past, plans for the future, then just to note these, to be aware of their arisal and not to get caught up in the story. To try to sense that they're like bubbles rising to the surface of a pond. They rise, they abide, and then dissolve back, like the bubbles dissolve back into the water. And our business here is as best as possible to maintain the awareness of the sensation of the air passing in and out through the nostrils. And doing this in a diligent way, conscientious and diligent way, but also in a relaxed way, understanding there is this tendency of the mind to wander away. This occurs, so that we are not aggressive in the approach, but we're also not lacking in conscientiousness. So then just to continue like this for the first part of the meditation, to continually bring the mind back to the experience of the sensation of the air passing in and out through the nostrils. And if your mind has already wandered away, just to bring it back again, recalling to mind that really, if we are able to keep our mind in the present moment by observing the breath, we can still our mind and focus it and make it more clear for the remainder of the meditation session. And then beyond this meditation session, then also into the teaching time. So then continuing on now into the main body of the meditation. So one of the things that Geshe Sotram mentioned yesterday was that our parents, who are very commonly the most kind people towards us, who are most kind to us through this life, then most likely don't actually have the knowledge about what to cultivate, what states of mind to cultivate, what states of mind to abandon. They don't necessarily, and most likely don't, have a method and have not passed on to us a method, a profound inner transformation. And if we look, as we look at we could say our biological lineage of, say, our mother, and think about our mother. Our mother may have actually, principal thing in our mother's life may have been the raising of her children, of us. And certainly most likely she dedicated an enormous amount of time and concern for our welfare. And if we get a sense of how she is, then to some degree, most likely, her attitude was influenced by her mother, who also dedicated much time to the welfare of her children. And that's our grandmother. And if we trace it back to her mother, our great-grandmother, then most likely also she dedicated much time and concern for her children. So this biological lineage that we're connected with, for which we are greatly in debt, very fortunate to have received, then no matter how much concern those beings had, particularly our mother, had for us, to what extent could they really help us to make this life profoundly meaningful? Were they able to impart to us a method of inner transformation? Most likely, all those beings, a mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, may not have even heard of the word bodhicitta. So somehow we have had the good fortune to make connection with the spiritual tradition, which has at its heart the mind, the awakening mind of bodhicitta, the aspiration to reach enlightenment in order to remove all beings from suffering, to bring to us profound purpose for our existence. The Austrian psychiatrist Viktor Frankl, who survived Auschwitz, the concentration camp, made the point after he survived, after the remainder of his rest of his family died, most of his family died in Auschwitz. He said, if a being has a meaning or purpose which is conditioned by love for others, that person can deal with virtually any level of suffering. And Lama Zopa says, in relation to suicide, the reason why people suicide is because they don't find a method. Meaning that if you had a method or an understanding or a purpose, and obviously best bodhicitta, then you wouldn't suicide, or at least you wouldn't suicide out of self-cherishing. So this altruistic mind has this powerful capacity to protect us. And this mind of bodhicitta has the capacity to protect us from the suffering of the lower realms. Both from the point of view that when we cultivate that mind directed towards the welfare of others, that is, our focus is on others' welfare, our own suffering, our own obsession with our own suffering dissolves. Because it's said, as a bodhisattva would only too willingly be reborn in the hell realms if it would be of benefit to others. So not focused on one's own suffering and fear, but focused on the suffering and fear of others. The concern is with others. Oneself is only one, others many. But also this mind of bodhicitta protects us from the lower realms from the point of view that when we generate it, it purifies the causes to be reborn in the lower realms. It purifies from the point of view of purifying the karma, but it also works as an antidote to the afflictions. And the power of this mind in the way that it is described in terms of being like the fire at the end of a world system, the destruction of a world system, destroys all. So this mind of bodhicitta has this power to destroy negativity like this. So somehow our life circumstances have been such that we have been able to make connection with this tradition of Buddhism, which presents the teachings on bodhicitta, and this very powerful altruistic mind, but also as well, to whatever extent we can develop it, we may feel at this point of time that we're limited in our capacity to develop this mind. But as it's said, that even the smallest sliver of a diamond is still labeled diamond. So likewise, even the smallest amount of this concept that we develop in our mind, holding that concept, the understanding of our potential to become a completely enlightened being, that profound understanding, and then the vast attitude which works to, through the various methods that we apply, we understand through Buddhism, that we increase our embrace, increase the numbers of beings that we are concerned about. So whatever extent we're able to do that, even a small amount, that concept, the idea of potentially attaining the state of enlightenment, and to generate an understanding of kindness and compassion towards all beings, then even it's a small degree of it in our mind, it's still like a diamond, something incredibly precious. And somehow our circumstances have been that we've been open to this form of teaching and had the time and circumstance to attend these teachings. On this profound text, the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, text which provides us with the methods to develop this mind of bodhicitta. And also we have the good fortune to have made connection, either directly or indirectly, to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Bodhisattvas or Buddhas, beings who've come into this world due to the power of compassion and prayer. We have the good fortune to have that connection. And to some degree have a kind of a sense of trust, a belief, a conviction that these beings are Bodhisattvas, or perhaps even Buddhas. And also the good fortune here to receive these teachings. Over this period of time, either directly in this room here or via the internet, from an accomplished master, Geshe Siltram. So then, just to conclude now, to dedicate whatever positive results have been in engaging in this meditation, to deepening our appreciation of the mind of bodhicitta, so as to have a mind that is open to and appreciative of the teachings and what we receive in this program as a whole, Buddhist Studies program. And so dedicating whatever positive results there are towards the development of our heart mind, so that we can be of greatest benefit to ourselves and to others. Okay, so thank you